Bush the first is another one.
He's
to
a
me.
one-term guy. He was from 97 to 01.
Yep.
Let's move to Jefferson.
He's number 3.
That's 01 to 09. He was a 2-term guy. Adams was a Federalist. Washington was obviously independent. Jefferson was a Democratic Republican. He was the first Mr. President. Right when he got in, the French and the British started going to war. So everybody in America was like, fuck England. Also, France just helped us.
Yeah.
Fuck England. Let's join it. And he was
Although
the
he
only
loved the French. He loved the revolution in French.
Yeah, he did.
The Adams didn't, because it was bloody and
one.
horrible.
He didn't like the French.
He didn't, and Jefferson loved the revolution, and he had all his friends over there. He spent a lot of his life there.
Yeah. But Americans started being like, fuck England. Let's join France in the war. He was the only one with the foresight to be like, we have 40 guys in our military and 3 boats.
Yeah.
Let's shut the fuck up.
Was not.
So he declared neutrality, and everybody called him a pussy. Then England started blocking his like fucking ships. I think he might have been the one who said, we're just not going to trade with either of them. So then the American economy just plummeted. England started just saying, if you're not trading with us, we're just going to confiscate your ships, kidnap all the sailors, make them join the British Navy.
What?
So he was getting punked by England.
You're talking about Jefferson. Well, it's interesting because Adams, what ended his presidency was a fake rumor that Jefferson started, that Adams was trying to start a war with and start a navy and do all this stuff, and it was all fake. But then it ended up kind of haunting Jefferson because the truth about all that ended up fucking him a lot.
Huh.
One thing interesting about Jefferson is because he's so famous for having had a slave and having had like 50,000 slaves, or whatever, not that many, and having had children with his slave, and I don't think he ever even gave her freedom. He didn't free
the kids.
He didn't free a couple. I think he freed a couple.
Freed 2.
Yeah.
And the rest he kept enslaved until he died. And what was interesting about them?
Damn, he did the ultimate because I said so.
Is like, Dad, can I stop being a slave? He's like, no. I said no. They were like white.
Really?
His slave children, the woman that he
Sally.
had kids with, Sally, was like half white. Or like was very light skinned.
Yeah, I think her mother was in his family for a long time.
And his dad was fucking like.
Yes,
I mean it was like.
What?
But she was kind of a product of his father.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure
yeah.
about that. But it's
Somewhat.
But an interesting thing about him in terms of slavery and American politics is that his first elected position was in the Virginia legislature. He was like a House of Reps guy in Virginia, and the very first thing he ever did as a politician was to propose a bill in the Virginia government to abolish slavery in the state of Virginia. It's the first thing he did. Of course, it got shot down, but it was his desire and his dream.
Yeah, because he was big on that with the French Revolution.
Yes,
With
and
Lafayette
yes, and all of these guys. All of these early guys wanted slavery out, but there was no way the South was going to do it.
Yeah.
And they wanted the Southern, because the choice was to have like just 2 countries or 4 countries over here, or have a unified country and just deal with it.
Yeah.
We're going to have slavery, but create a framework where in the future, when it becomes possible, when things change, when things get more modern, we can get rid of it in the future.
And I could be wrong, but I think the North had abolished slavery early, like 1806, which is while Jefferson's in office. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
It was around the exact same time as England. In fact, maybe before
really?
the North. We were right. Us Northerners, we got it right.
A fun Jefferson story that I like is that when he was in Paris, he had this woman, a girlfriend named something Causeway or something. His wife died when he was pretty young, and she made him promise on her deathbed that he would never have another woman, which is a horrible thing to do.
Yeah, fuck,
to
man.
a young man that you're fucking.
Yeah, it's like
not even somebody to take care of the kids they had.
It's like, no, I promise.
Yeah, I know, but he's
oh, for sure.
So it was part of the reason that all of, including Sally Hemings, that his loves were all secret because he was ashamed of every woman that he loved after that.
That's hot.
And so there was a woman in Paris. She was a British painter, and her husband. She was a woman. She was married, but she was a painter, and she fell in love with Thomas Jefferson, and they were very much in love with each other. But then the way they broke up was very funny to me because he wrote her these beautiful letters. She was in love with him. He was in love with her. But then the French, when he was leaving France, they wanted a great portrait of him to put in the National Gallery. And they said to him, you can choose any painter in the world. And he was like, no, I want, a real guy. And his girlfriend was like, why not me? And he's like, baby, come on. I mean,
you're good.
You're good, but you're not like fucking grown man. You're not like fucking, I'm not for history.
True. These guys were that's the weirdest thing. How history mind. They were like knowing they were going to get sucked into history, which is crazy to think about.
So here's a good one because we got to speed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes over. So Napoleon's in there in France.
Yeah.
Post revolution. This is the Louisiana Purchase. They sent James Monroe over. That was his bro.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to France. They thought they were negotiating the sale of just the port of New Orleans. This is all thanks in part to the fucking Haitian Revolution, which fucked France. Look into the Haitian Revolution. Yeah. It rules. He gets over there. Monroe finds out, they're trying to sell all of the Louisiana. Like, it's from New Orleans to the Rockies to Canada. It's huge. From the Appalachians to the Rockies, basically. And they didn't have time to consult Congress. So Thomas Jefferson just bought it on the spot, which he was like, I abused the fuck out of my power. And that was his whole thing is government should have no power.
Yeah.
He was against any
Well, that's what Jefferson's whole life was like, doing fucked up things and then saying nobody should be able to, like, saying slavery. He's like, people that need to stop having slaves. He's fucking a slave, and it's like, somebody's got to put a stop to this.
We got to stop this.
Somebody's got to stop this. Somebody's got to stop fucking these slaves.
Yeah.
Well, Louisiana
I wish it could be me,
got 6 kids.
but I need to fuck this one right now.
Those arguments must have been crazy. Dude.
All right.
But yeah, that was big because that secured the southern port. Then we had
and Monroe was Secretary of State.
Monroe, yeah.
And then wasn't he the
no, Madison's next.
Because usually the Secretary of State would end up being president,
vice president at this point. Although was Jefferson Adams?
Jefferson was Adams's vice president.
Yeah, so that's 2 straight vice presidents. Then we got James Madison. He was a dork.
Yes,
he was a huge dork.
He was a nerd.
He was a frail, nervous. Think Gerbies.
What?
He was Gerbies.
Really?
But this is sick. So basically, he had the first. They said his lady was the first lady, Dolly Madison. That was like really like they would have parties at the White House. They would like try to get.
And also, he was Jefferson's mentor. He was another guy like Adams who was there all the time.
Yeah.
He was like a worker. He kept shit going, and he would write Jefferson and say in France and go, "Can you fucking come home and be president?" And Jefferson would write back and go, "I am just enjoying Paris, and I don't want to do it."
And
then he would float in and just take the fucking big job. And Madison gets 4 years, and people are like, "Dude, you're boring."
No,
America has never liked nerds.
Madison gets 2. Don't
touch me. Don't ever put your fucking hands on me.
I can't touch your
ever
shoes
put
out
your
of respect.
Fucking hands on me.
I'm gonna grip you up.
God damn it!
Hold on. So Jefferson was shut the fuck up, guys. Shut up, guys.
Sean, get out.
Sean, don't look at me. So Madison takes some of the flack because everybody was calling Jefferson a pussy for not fighting England. So he's like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it.
What?
So America just declares war on England.
He nerd raged.
He nerd raged on England. England immediately marches down and burns Washington, D.C.
Burns it down.
They burnt the White House immediately.
He spaz cried.
But he spaz cries. He's like, nobody's going to call me gay. But then everybody always acts like we lost 1812 just because they burned that shitty White House.
Yeah.
So first off, Washington, D.C. was a swamp. It was literally a swamp. It was a shithole. No one lived there. War of 1812, we fucked England up. Fort McHenry, Star Spangled Banner, all that shit. Battle of New Orleans, we smashed them.
Battle of New Orleans was what's his name?
Jackson.
Yeah. And Jackson, they were fighting the Battle of New Orleans. The war had been already over for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the war was already settled.
They fought
the
it in
treaty was
1815.
signed.
It was in January of
and
1815.
he was still fighting.
Yeah.
Once you get to Jackson, he's incredible.
Wild.
Incredible.
Right. So
first Trump. He was the first Trump.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, America, that's our first war as a country.
Yeah.
So now America's not just colonies.
Because England was just taking pot shots. England would just park a ship outside of like a Baltimore or whatever,
They're
and
so
just start
good.
heaving fucking fireballs for no reason. Like
dickheads,
you know
dude.
where do you know Hudson, New York? It's a town on the Hudson. It has a weird maritime feeling to it. It looks like Nantucket. And that's because it's all people from Nantucket. It used to be this little whaling village in Nantucket. And in the 1810s, the British would just park a ship and just set houses on fire for fucking fun.
What?
So all the people that lived in that town founded Hudson. And they would go out and whale in the ocean. And then they'd drag a whale up the Hudson River.
Holy shit.
And they would slaughter it and then send it down the river. It was a great way to send whale meat and oil down to here, New York City.
Yeah.
And that established a hub in New York, an upper New York State. Hudson became a very big, important. And that's where you ever heard of a guy named Legs Diamond? Because Diamond Street was like the first whore street.
It sounded like
Hudson became a place for farmers to bring their herds and get laid and get, just fuck and gamble and have their animals slaughtered and brought down here on boats, and then they go home.
Got paid. Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what was going on. That's how much things like just the English, one English ship lobbing fireballs changes a ton of things.
Yeah, some
and they
farmer
finally
just
needed
sucked.
it to stop.
Resulted in some guy getting hit. Like, I'm never going to be able to face me wife.
Me wife.
So
now you got.
now we're kind of unified. That was the first time.
Madison.
The War of 1812. It was a draw. I mean, they signed a treaty after 2 years.
Nothing changed, though.
Nothing changed.
The English stopped harassing us.
Yeah,
though.
but we declared war. They came over.
Yeah.
We kind of fucked them up, though. I looked at the casualty numbers. It was like double.
That doesn't matter in the historical
Of course. But everybody
die.
always acts like, because they got over here and they all died of disease kind of immediately. Like, they got fucked up.
It was hard to.
And they were like,
stage those
we
things.
can't afford to fight this while we're fighting the French. Truce. That brings us to Monroe. Monroe was kind of the man. Monroe was the last founding father to be a president, fought in the Revolutionary War, was at Valley Forge. He came up with the Monroe Doctrine, which is neutrality. We got the Americas. Nobody fuck with us. Because they were all worried Europe was going to Spain or Europe was going to come back and take South
that was
America.
all the source of all our problems was these other fucking European countries being involved in their wars. So he was the first guy to go.
Yeah, we're never
Y'all
going to
do
go
what you
get
want.
involved in their wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of what they were saying was that's like the most lasting policies of any of the founding fathers was like American neutrality. Europe, you can have your wars. We're staying the fuck out. Obviously, it lasted 100 years. Added Florida. Monroe got Florida from the Spanish.
Nice.
So the reason that happened, though, was because of Jackson. Because Jackson was taking his troops to Florida, and Monroe was sending a guy on a horse, or I don't know if they had telegrams yet, but it'd take him 8 days to say, leave Florida alone. We're trying to negotiate a price. But finally, Monroe decided we don't want Florida anymore. They're asking the Spanish owned it. We can't afford to buy it. I can't justify it. I'm not going to get it through Congress. And Jackson was writing back and saying, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it militarily. I'm going to attack them. And Monroe said, no, you may not. I'm the president. You may not do that. And Jackson just ignored him.
Started attacking
And he
him.
did it.
What?
He took Florida, and then he showed up in D.C. and was like, right? That was good, right? And Monroe's like, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's like, but also I bought it.
Good job. Yeah, also, I think
He
we
paid for it.
We paid for it, and it was a mess.
While Jackson was like fucking with them, the Spanish were like to Monroe. They were like, yeah, you can buy it.
He just went and killed him.
He was down fighting them, and he was like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna sell it.
There's two generals that did that. Him and MacArthur did that too. Just did shit without permission.
Yeah.
And then showed up and said, right, Mr. President, wasn't that the plan
That was
all
pretty
along? And he
good.
goes like, yes, it was the plan all along. Whatever you want. Whatever you
Whoa.
want.
So you got that, but this is interesting because Monroe was the first part that this is where the slavery issue starts to take real issue because it was the Missouri Compromise. So Missouri was becoming a state; it was another slave state, pro-slavery.
Yeah, so every
So
every time they added a slave state, they'd have to add
They
a
had
free
to add
slave.
a free
Oh,
one to
really?
make sure it was balanced.
Yeah.
So that's when we added Maine. Missouri got to be a slave state. That's it for him. John Quincy Adams.
Yeah, so John Quincy Adams was Secretary of State. John Quincy Adams had a big role in the in Florida.
Yeah.
And he had a big role in that compromise. That was a big part. He was a statesman. John Quincy Adams, fucking fascinating guy. I read his biography. The thing about him and his father is that they wrote copious, really long diary entries, so we know a lot about those guys. But he traveled with his father to England. He was like the last link to the Great Revolution. Yeah, because he was with his father wherever he went, and he took him to France. He ended up being a diplomat. He was the first American ambassador to Russia. He lived in St. Petersburg, Russia. And him and his...
Oh, wait, was he the one who helped them kind of revolutionize?
I don't...
Or was that before?
Remember that.
Okay.
I mean, but he was in Russia way back then. And he'd take like a sleigh to countries that aren't there anymore, like Prussia. And he traveled all over. He traveled more than any like human being back then. Yeah. And he went across the ocean several times. So like something like 12 times back and forth.
Now
amazing guy. Incredible guy.
His opponent was Jackson in this election.
Yeah.
Jackson dominated. He won the popular vote by a greater margin than Reagan beat Carter. It was a landslide victory for him, but Jackson in the Battle of New Orleans came out and said all the guys from Kentucky were being fucking cowards. What? So then when it comes to the Electoral College, the guy counting the votes happened to be like a senator or something from Kentucky.
What?
And I was like, fuck this guy. And he just swung like 10 states. Because back then the Electoral College made perfect sense. Nobody in any state had ever heard of one of these guys. Mm-hmm. There was no news. There was no fucking anything.
Now you needed somebody. Yeah, you needed super delegates.
You needed
to
just get your local guy. Yeah. And be like, you
go figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was enough for this guy to swing all these dudes in the meetings to be like, dude, Jackson's a fucking dickhead. We need John Quincy Adams. So he swung. I mean, it was
John Quincy Adams was another nerd, one-term nerd.
Yes.
Who just couldn't get, I mean, as a president, he couldn't get, and he got almost nothing done. Partly because Jackson and his people just thwarted every single thing he tried.
The whole country loved Jackson.
Everybody fucking loved that dude.
He was Trump.
So much.
He was Trump.
Imagine if Trump like dueled as much as
Jesus Christ.
Jackson died with
dudes.
something like 12 bullets in his body.
Yeah.
What?
That never left his body. He dueled all the time.
Yeah, let's just go straight to Jackson. Jackson, he's the next president.
He can't not be mentioned, John Quincy.
JQA.
Yeah, fuck John Quincy.
John Quincy Adams, well, after his presidency, he was in Congress forever from Massachusetts. Yeah. He died at his seat in Congress.
Wow.
He died at his desk. He was because his thing, he was a huge abolitionist. He was like the only guy in the Congress willing to be an out and out. The slave states had so much power that they passed a gag law that said you can't say the word slavery in Congress. Wow. It used to be, there was a thing in Congress back then called petitioning. Anyone could send a petition to their congressperson and they had to say it. They had to mention it. So like you could send a thing to Congress saying, I want retards to be allowed to drive, whatever you would do. I want retarded people to have driver's license.
Yes.
And he would say, he'd have to go, okay, the petition from Shane Gillis, he wants retards to drive.
The honorable.
And everyone would go, I move to table it, and then they just table it. But they passed a law saying you couldn't even mention a petition that said the word slavery, because that's how electrified it was. Like, we don't want anybody. We know you're trying to get rid of slavery. We don't even want you to say. And they passed it. So Quincy Adams would do it, and he would just break the law, and he would just say it over and over again. He would read petitions about slavery, and he would get sent. Then they would all vote, the whole Congress, to censure him for going against the rules, and he got censured over and over again. And he represented the Amistad slaves and got them set free. Yeah, did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he was the slave ship that was taken over by slaves and was grounded in Massachusetts, I think.
So he was saying the S word. He got in trouble.
Yeah,
he got not only in trouble. Those slaves asked him to represent that. He was their lawyer.
What?
Because they were Virginia slave masters who were they were Haitian slaves that they were waiting for, that they had paid for. But he found a way it wasn't like a slavery is wrong trial. It was, you guys don't have a receipt trial. It was like, you ain't got the paperwork, go fuck yourselves. So they
Nice,
were
dude.
free. But he died. He was in the middle of a big impassioned argument. He was yelling, and he had a heart attack, and he died right there with the whole Congress around him,
Just watching it.
because people loved that guy.
Yeah.
He was a great guy. He was the first president or former president to ride on a steamship, and he used to ride on the steamships with a blanket over him, and folks would surround him. All the passengers would surround him, and he would just tell stories. He was a great guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Man, I didn't know any of
There's
that.
just a part of me that liked Jackson.
Jackson's great,
'Cause
but
he's a
I mean,
dickhead.
and again, to me, I look at all these guys. I evaluate them as characters. They're all great, amazing characters. They all did awful things,
Of course.
Yeah.
but I mean, Obama fucking bombed, fucking weddings.
Obama.
Obama.
Yeah.
But yes, Jackson was a crazy but shrewd. A great thing about Jackson was that his inaugural party in the White House,
Yeah.
This is wild.
they
stormed the Capitol.
he invited everybody. That's exactly right.
They
He
stormed
invited everyone. He said anyone that wants can come. No invitation needed. It's the people's house, and the house was crammed with common people getting drunk,
Just got
stealing shit,
shit-faced, destroyed,
and
the
they
whole
wouldn't
place.
leave. And there's a honor code in the White House. You don't ask someone to leave. You don't ever throw anybody out. So they couldn't get them. Like, days went by where people are shitting on the floor and raiding the fucking pantry and just fucking people and whatever.
What?
And so what they did was they got huge kegs of beer and they put them on the lawn. And they
Nice.
said, "Hey, come out. Let's drink under the stars. Let's have, And they invited them out for beer on the lawn, and they all came outside and they locked doors. That was how he was a people's president.
Yeah.
Like,
he was
there
the
was
first
some
populist.
in his
First
yes.
guy. Yeah.
First one to appeal to the common
Yeah.
person. There was an author, English guy. I read his biography of him, and they have one account of an English traveling writer who would write travel logs. And he was in Washington, and he thought, what is it like? Can you meet the president? And he just walked. There wasn't a fence around the
Yeah,
house
people
then.
just could walk in and
So
see
he
him.
just walked to the front door, and he knocked on the door. And a butler came to the door and said hello. And he said, I'd like to meet the president. And he's like, is he expecting you? He goes, no. And the butler's like, all right, well, come in and sit down. And he went in. The guy waited like 20 minutes. And Jackson came out of his office, which was like full of people. And he said, I'm in a pretty important, like, who are you?
Yeah.
And he said, I just wanted to meet you and say hi. And he was like, all right, can you wait an hour? And he's like, sure. So he went and whatever, fucking signed a thing to kill all the Indians.
Yeah.
And then he came and had sandwiches brought, and he sat with the guy and just talked to him for an hour.
Damn.
He also he was the first president, I think, to ride on a train. He took a train. He was the first one to do this, that he went all over the country.
Yeah.
He went up to Maine. Presidents never traveled. He was the first guy to do that. Like, he thought people should see the president. People should have contact
Whoa.
with the president.
The Trail of Tears, he flubbed that one.
Yeah.
Flubbed. He
He was a
nailed
bit
it.
of a flub. He did do exactly what his goal
He did
was.
what he tried to do. Fucking flubbed.
That was a bit of a flub.
He was not. He didn't make mistakes.
I looked it up. I don't know if they had slaves.
Yeah.
The fucking dudes on the Trail of Tears, they were like, we got to bring our slaves.
If slaves are available, folks get slaves. That's
Yeah.
just the way that goes.
I couldn't believe it.
But when
But
he
those
was
peaceful
yeah,
natives?
yeah,
Fair
that's what
point.
the part you don't hear is, like, the Indians are like, you know what he did to us, and what he did to our slaves was
Yeah,
even
our
worse.
slaves had it real bad on the Trail of Tears.
I mean, tell me about it.
Yeah, but didn't they like share everything with their slaves though?
I don't know. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
way
yeah.
better.
It was a
slaves.
Were they like
egalitarian.
real peaceful?
It was egalitarian, dude.
They were some
No,
of those
he-
good slave owners. The natives.
There is some story from some big chief went to the White House to meet with the Jackson, because Jackson was very honest.
Yeah.
He didn't underhand ever. He didn't play politics. He did horrible things, but he just went ahead and did them. Like, there was a slave revolt during his presidency where they took over a fort. The slaves took over a fort and just said, we just want out. We just want to be taken to the north or Canada or whatever. And so he just got a bunch of cannons and just lit the whole place up, killed them all.
Bombed them.
He
Jesus.
didn't fucking care. So some famous, like a name you'd recognize, it wasn't like Sitting Bull, but it was some big all of the Indians, all the tribes chose this guy to negotiate with Jackson. And he went and talked to Jackson, just the two of them. And he came out crying and said,
"What?
We're in trouble."
Yeah, he says, "We're not. This is gonna go bad. This is gonna go bad." No, he just had his way of thinking about how it was gonna go. He's like, "No, we got to clear these guys out of here."
Also, in line with Trump, he was like, "This is where the term mudslinging starts."
Yeah,
it was him and John Quincy. Their election or their debates and shit was. He would just talk. They would talk shit. There would be nasty rumors in the papers.
Whatever it took.
Yeah.
Whatever it took. No, I remember. I have a friend who's a Trump guy who I've known for a long time. I'm not going to say that his name is Nick DiPaolo. But knowing Nick has always given me some insight into the mentality of that kind of guy, not just Trump, but guys like Jackson. I remember once I was with Nick and a lot of people, and he was and like three Democrats were yelling at him. And he was starting to say crazy, fucked up things to them. And at one point, I'm like, "Nick, you know that's wrong." And he goes, "It's 3 against 1. Like, what do you want me to do?" Like he's in and it gave me and then it brought me back to when I was like 19 and I was friends with Nick and we were comedians in Boston. And there was a pinball machine we really liked playing at this one club. So we're playing pinball against each other. And when it was my turn, I was starting to beat his score, and he just put his hand over my hand so I couldn't flip. And he just looked at me like this, and I'm like, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah, I win. I win. I don't care." But
he
Jackson,
was big too.
Jackson was Jackson was the first. Yeah, he was a football player. College football player. Jackson was the first president to go like, "Fuck you! I'm winning. I'm winning this. I don't care what happens to you. We're gonna
So he also, one of the big things with Jackson, he vetoed more bills than every president before him combined.
Nice.
He hated the banks. He like went to war.
It's crazy that he's on the 20.
Yeah.
It's like a joke because he hated the idea of a central bank. He hated the idea of a treasury. He thought that it should just be folks have their money, use gold, and you trade. And he wanted.
So I think the U.S. bank at the time, I think it was called the United States, like the Bank of the United States, was up for to be renewed. Mm-hmm. And he just happened to be the president, and he vetoed it.
Yeah, and it was a thing you don't veto.
You can't veto it.
No, but
he vetoed it. So then the next guy, we'll get to him, is his vice president, Van Buren. He takes over. Mm-hmm. He takes over a completely destroyed economy because he vetoed the bank.
That's the way it goes. The cool guys. America is made of cowboys and nerds. So you got cowboys who show off and who show what kind of people we are, and then you have nerds who actually get things done. But the cowboys get the credits.
Yeah.
And then nerds get fucked every time.
He got fucked. His nickname was Van Ruin.
Yes. He had a lot of nicknames.
They were like,
Old Kinderhook. He was another total nerd, and everybody hated Van Buren. He was like a little fucking...
Yeah. He was supposed to be, I think, he was one of those vice presidents that was supposed to be a link. Like, because Jackson was the man in the South, kind of, or wherever, and they were like, let's get this dork to...
He was from Kinderhook,
Pence.
New York.
He was his Pence.
Yeah.
He was Trump's Pence.
Yeah.
He was... The legend is that, he was one of the first people to have pamphlets, like a lot of pamphlets, like the press, like the mass press started to get big. So his pamphlet was, because he was called Old Kinderhook, because he's from Kinderhook, New York. So his thing was OK, and it was a check mark.
Oh, nice.
And that's where people say that OK comes from.
What?
Yeah.
Because it was like his thing was OK with a check mark. That was the point. It was like vote for Old Kinderhook.
That's the thing. When you look into this, that's where all of our shit comes from.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's all of this. All right. Well, we got to speed up because this one's funny. Van Buren sucked, whatever.
Yeah, he's...
Here comes Harrison. He's the next guy. Everybody called him Old Granny because he was too much of a geezer to run. So on his inauguration, he was like, I'm going to prove to everyone how tough I am.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold and raining. He had like an 8,000 word inauguration.
Yeah.
He got a pneumonia and died.
He died. He was like a few months.
He died immediately. Like
shortest term. Died.
Shortest term.
Didn't have a minute of acting as president.
Trying to prove he was tough.
Got sick the first day.
Died immediately.
And died a few months later.
What?
Yep.
G.
That brings us to Tyler. He did nothing.
Tyler was
his
general,
party abandoned
right?
him.
No, I'm thinking of Taylor.
He was Harrison's vice president. So Harrison dies. The one thing he did do was set the precedent that the vice president stays as president.
Nice.
So everyone was like, "What? We don't know what to do here. The president's never died. Do you take over as an interim guy until we find a new guy?" And he was like, "No, I'm just the president."
I'm the president.
And enough that his party hated him for that. So his own party abandoned him. They didn't
Why?
put him up for re-election.
Well, because they thought they should be able to choose another guy.
They wanted to be able to put
a
another
stronger guy.
Yeah. So he stayed. He had no parties supported him. He got nothing done. He was never up for re-election
It
again.
must have been awkward.
That brings us to our guy, though. This is who I wanted to get to. Polk, dude. Turns out Polk's the man.
Really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about Pope.
No.
He was one term because he was a dark horse out of nowhere, and he promised everybody in his party, "I'll only do one term. That way, some of you guys that are good, that are getting ready, you can take over. I promise to do one term." When he was running, his opponent's slogan was, "Who is James K. Polk?" Like, people were talking shit. As soon as he got in, oh, this is good. He was a tiny guy. He was 5'8", which was like,
That's really small.
yeah, he was 5'8", and when he got in, his wife was the one who came up with, they got to play Hail to the Chief every time you come in a room to give you some respect.
Give him a little,
Yeah, so that's why that happens.
Nice.
So right away, Polk starts going
But it was
wild.
kind of a joke. It's like if a midget walked in.
Yeah, like,
Everybody goes, it's just a little guy.
No, Polk's a beast. Immediately, he starts fucking with the British about Oregon. So they have the Oregon Territory
yeah.
out there, which is just beaver hunting. Everybody's, beaver hunting. We're doing a little bit of
What do
that
you
in
mean?
Nash Vegas.
What do you mean?
He was trying to get pussy.
About pussies.
Hunting in Oregon for
They were in Oregon,
pussy.
Oregon, pussy hunting. So the British were pussy hunting. The British and Americans were both pussy hunting on the same territory. And Polk was like, "Nah, we're done with that." And he set the latitude and longitude was 54 and 40. So he came out with the slogan 54 and 40 or fight. He was saying that to the British. He was like, "We're going to
It's
fuck
very
you guys up."
True.
So he came out with that. And the British,
People were really into
They loved
latitudes
slogans.
and longitudes.
They were.
back then.
so he called that. And the British were afraid to call his bluff. They were just like, "Fine, take
They're
it."
like, that slogan is so good.
Yeah, they're
like,
just take it.
Fuck, dude,
54.
this guy's
Dude,
nuts.
you came up with the fucking. You used the longitude and latitude.
So he takes that territory, which is huge, and then it's not just Oregon, it's Washington, all that.
you know why Oregon is Portland is called Portland?
Mm.
I bet you I do.
It was kind of. Do you?
No, it's not.
It was going to be Boston
What?
because the two guys. Is it Lewis and Clark? That
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of them is
That
from
was Jefferson.
One of
Give him
them is
credit on
from
that.
Boston, and one of them is from Portland, Maine. And they both wanted to name it after their hometown.
Oh.
And they flipped a coin
Huh.
and named it Portland. And there is a Boston in Oregon.
Hmm.
There's a town called Boston in Oregon. Anyway, go on.
So after he gets
I know.
Oregon,
Yeah.
he's like, "All right, it's time for me to get Texas."
Mhm.
He starts fucking with the Mexicans. Like, so they would send troops down just to see if the Mexicans would shoot first.
Mhm.
Finally, they did. He
Fucking
immediately.
lazy Mexicans.
Finally, they shot
so
a bunch
many
of
times
He-
get off their fucking
Yeah,
frijoles and fire a shot.
So they go to war.
Here they come again. I don't want to fire.
He
I'm
fired-
too
he fired
busy
the lads.
drinking
Probably one of them was like-
tequila.
70,000 troops poured in.
Oh no.
So we immediately took California, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Texas.
And
This
then
is all
who was
Polk
the
in
general?
4 years.
Who was the general that penetrated all the way to Mexico City? This is later, right?
This was the next guy who was Zachary Taylor.
Yeah, Zachary Taylor was
Zachary
the big
Taylor.
Mexican American war
Yeah,
guy.
he was the war hero.
what?
Zachary Taylor was dominating.
So they
them, but this is-
gathered-
He went into Mexico City, and if you go to in Mexico City, the big thing is Los Niños. These 6, I think it's 4 or 6 kids. So they stormed. They went all the way to Mexico City, and the citadel, the Chapultepec, the palace. The army was so decimated that it was finally just the cadets of the military school were the only ones
Yikes.
defending the capital, and they were just 4 kids firing on the American army is just coming. And they wrapped themselves in Mexican flags and jumped and dove and killed themselves. That was how they ended the
pretty
war.
awesome.
And the moment is Zachary Taylor was holding one of them and he was saying they were just kids. Like he had no idea they were like fucking 12, 15 years
Oh
old.
man.
And in Chapultepec, there's 4 big pillars that are still they're like war heroes.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What did Mexico have back then? Was it like a king or like
A lot
what
of they had what was going on all these years. Napoleon assumed that the South would win the Civil War eventually. That there would be Europe always bet on the South because the South was a aristocratic America. It was about plantations and old families, and that's a European. And they loved Europe in the South. The North was always against Europe and wanting to start something new. So during the Civil War. So Maximilian was just a Habsburg. But the way kings worked back then, there were some royalty factories. So the Habsburg family, who I think were like Flemish or whatever the fuck, they just had like somebody, a cousin of a king. They went, Maximilian and his wife, they're like, you guys take Mexico. So Napoleon sent French troops to Mexico and installed Maximilian, but then
which is what Cinco de Mayo is.
Yes, and then the Mexicans finally overran because when we lost the Civil War, when we lost the Civil War, I don't know what made me say that. No, when the South lost the Civil War, Napoleon was like, all right, fuck this.
Well, wait, Napoleon was gone for this.
Or whoever the French pulled their well, there was like 3 Napoleons.
Oh, true.
Right.
I think it was a later Napoleon.
Wow. Yes.
Pulled support.
Yeah.
And Maximilian, they beheaded him.
Fuck.
They fed peyote to his wife and sent her home. And there's some little village somewhere in like the Netherlands where they tell you like, she's going to come get you because she would run in the streets. She went insane. She would run the streets screaming. And they tell kids if you don't get to sleep because she comes out at night. If you don't go to sleep, she's going to come get you. So that's how far in Mexico.
Dude,
I'm sorry to derail you, but so
that's great.
Zachary, so you were still at Polk and then Taylor.
Polk, but still. So one thing that was cool was when Polk was instigating this war with Mexico.
You got to cut that part where I say we lost.
No, that's good.
Cut that. I don't know what
you
made me say
corrected
that.
Immediately. This is pretty sick. So Polk was up there like, they're fucking with us. They shot at our troops. An old one-term senator from Illinois at the time stood up and said, were we on their territory when we shot him? There was one guy that was opposed to the Mexican-American War, a guy by the name of Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Abraham Lincoln,
and people were like, hey, shut up, pussy.
Yeah, dude.
We're trying to take Texas. Shut the fuck
He's
up.
Like, you guys, were we? I'm like, shh.
Yeah,
he was like, sorry.
I think this was wrong. Like, anyway, that's why Polk's kind of the man. He added 1/3 of the entire United States in a 4-year term.
Damn.
Pretty good. Well, in territory.
I know, but still.
It's like those big
but you got
states.
Texas and California.
And they were just
That's
sitting on
probably
the
half our population.
Pretty good.
true. And they were sitting on
I
the border.
wish he hadn't added them, especially Texas.
The
But
troops
again,
are sitting
then
there
we
being like,
went,
Mexico sucks. Mexico fucking
Finally,
sucks.
one of them got just
Go,
popped.
go.
Oh shit, run, they're pissed.
Yo, Mexico's gay.
Again, that was a smashing. America destroyed Mexico. It was mean.
Yeah, it's not nice.
Then this is good. Polk, he was working his tail off.
His tail.
He was tired. He was so exhausted when he got done. He went back to Tennessee and just died.
Like right away, right?
Yeah.
He died, yeah.
He was like, that was too much. I
That
should
was
have done
a lot
all
of work. Yep.
Just died. So then comes Zachary Taylor. This is 1849 to 1850. That's a quick term. Old Rough and Ready.
Yeah.
Pretty sick nickname.
Old, dead, and
Yeah, he's
last
old. He's
long.
about to be dead.
Yeah, he died. I don't remember what he died of.
He was
Just being in the 1800s.
yeah. He was one of the largest slaveholders in the South. So when he got elected, the South was like nice because at this point, the territories, he just added. Polk did all that in 4 years, which was sick, but it was too much because now there's so much territory and the slaves versus the abolitionist debate. Every state they had to add. There was a debate. There was a debatey.
All Southern presidents, so many Southern presidents.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of the Adamses.
pretty much nonstop. Virginia.
Yep.
And then it gets into like Tennessee and
They started digging into their bench was not
yeah, they
good
get to
enough.
Tennessee, dude.
And then we started kind of with Ohio. We started coming back.
Yeah.
Huh.
Actually, kind of northern presidents tended to suck. Lincoln ruled.
Yeah, but he was Kentucky, Illinois.
Yeah.
Illinois,
We'll
but from
take that one.
which
I always
state
forget
is it?
one. I think he was born in Kentucky in a log cabin in Kentucky.
And then he was
Then he was the
Then he moved to
Illinois,
Illinois.
yeah.
Who fucking knows? There's no way to know.
We weren't right about
Nobody
half
will
these.
ever know,
We were never
really.
correct about half these facts, but we're having fun.
Oh yeah, I could be. I love
Yeah,
just
who cares?
acting like I know.
It's great. So one thing, Taylor gets in there. Everybody's like nice. Everybody in the South's like nice. This guy's pro-slavery. He gets in. He tends to start actually leaning towards standing with the North. This is all leading to the Civil War because like guys like this start fucking this up. As soon as he says we're going to establish or abolish slave in the Western territories, South Carolina says they're going to succeed. Taylor says he's going to fucking hang everybody down there if they do it.
What?
Yeah, he didn't react well to this stuff.
No.
He wasn't like, let's talk and send it
Yeah,
over
he was like,
there.
you're gonna fucking
He would
hang
just
all
say
of you.
that, and then they're like, "Are you?" And he's like, "Well, no, but
I'm gonna hang a lot of you.
the problem with tough talk." Yeah,
Damn.
This is how he died.
What do you do?
So he went. This is his
by doing
first
a
term.
podcast about. All right, go ahead. How did he die?
He went to Washington D.C. for Independence Day, and he ate too many cherries and milk.
What?
Because, like I said, it was a swamp, so there was like a cholera
That was
outbreak.
like the old Pop Rocks
Oh.
and Coke.
Yeah, he had cherries and frosted milk, and,
And that was
he
it?
exploded.
Damn, it must have been delicious.
By the way, you know how
though.
many there were 4 presidents? When you think about the fact that 4 of them were assassinated,
Yeah.
4?
Well, successfully. Yeah, I hear you.
4 were killed,
Shot,
shot,
yeah.
and killed.
Yeah.
4 out of 40. There's been 47 presidents.
10%.
Wait, hold on. How many got shot and killed? It was. I don't think they got shot and killed.
Yeah, 4 were shot and killed. Is it Garfield?
See,
No.
this is where I stopped.
A guy with a G. It's either Grover Cleveland or Garfield. One of those 2 was
Yeah,
shot
he
and
can-
killed.
Yeah.
McKinley shot and killed. JFK and Lincoln.
Nice.
4 shot and killed. Reagan fucking
Close.
badly shot.
Yeah.
Roosevelt, Teddy, shot in the chest,
Bull.
but had a thick piece of paper with his
Fuck,
speech and a
that's so
glasses
cool,
case.
man.
Finished the speech, dude.
Yep, finished the speech.
Got shot and was like,
And somebody shot at Andrew Jackson,
Yeah.
you got
and he had a cane and he beat the shit out of the guy. I almost beat him to death. The guy shot him and he just get the fuck. It was right outside the Capitol.
What?
Like by the big pillars or whatever.
Yeah.
And he just beat the fucking shit out of him.
dude who shot.
Yeah, he was insane. Old
All right.
Hickory.
Were they
Yes.
all crazed lone gunmen type things, or was it like?
Yeah, most of them were crazy people. There's a few other guys that were shot at that
Yeah,
somebody
sure.
took shots at them, and but that they didn't get hurt. Oh, what's his name? Well, FDR. They killed the governor who was sitting next to him. A spray of bullets, and he wasn't hurt, but the governor sitting next to him was killed.
Jesus.
Governor of Georgia or Florida, I don't fucking know. Anyway, go on. But yeah, like over 10%, like 12% of them have been shot.
Yeah.
That's
So it's an
crazy.
intense job
It's a pretty
That's
intense
to
nuts.
take. There's a
dude.
good chance.
It is like a higher rate than actual soldiers in war.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It's probably.
I guess so.
I bet
Yeah.
it is.
Might
That's
be.
fucked up.
Yeah, because in like regular like revolution shit, it's like 70,000 soldiers, 2,000 dead.
What's crazy
Shit
is
like that.
But before it used to be like when you like what's his name, Alexander the Great and whoever. Some kings used to lead. Heads of state
Yeah.
used to lead charges. They
Yeah.
used to be the front horse, like going right headlong into an army.
That'd be nice to be a
Yeah,
guy
a lot of
holding
Roman
a spear, like,
Roman guys did that. And,
jackpot.
Yeah, I fucking got him.
Holy
I
shit!
got
He's
the
coming
king.
right at me. He's coming right
Oh,
at me.
I'm
Oh,
just
fuck!
some-
I blew
I'm
it.
just some guy.
Fuck, I
shepherd.
missed.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're at Fillmore. The thing that sucks about fucking Taylor dying is he was like kind of a beast that could have maybe prevented the Civil War that was looming.
And then Fillmore was just a schlub.
Fillmore was a schlub. He signed. This is where it all starts to fuck up. Every single one of these guys, up to Lincoln, is just fucking up immensely. He
Just
wanted to
passing the
sign.
buck and passing the buck.
So Taylor was offered to sign the Compromise of 1850, which was some shit about one slave state, one regular, or they get to decide, shit like that. As soon as fucking Taylor died, Fillmore takes over and signs it. Southerners were mad that California would join as a free state. Northerners were mad about the fugitive slave law. So they both compromised and were both pissed. Fugitive slave law was if you find a slave in the North, there's U.S. Marshals that'll catch them and bring them back to the South.
You have to help them get them back.
And
Oh, really?
there were dudes that were just like grabbing black people. Be like, got him. Where's my
yeah.
bounty? So
That's how
it
the
was
12
bad.
years a slave guy got taken.
Oh shit, is it?
Yeah, he was a free northerner who
Somebody
just
just
got
kidnapped
grabbed by
him.
one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Damn.
It was bad.
Happened all the time.
He was the last member of the Whig Party. They didn't run him a second term. Here comes Franklin Pierce. He was pals with Jackson, son of a Revolutionary War hero. He's from the North, but he was pro-slavery. They thought this was going to work. 2 months before this is crazy. 2 months before his inauguration, he and his family were in a train crash, and the only casualty was his 11-year-old son.
Damn.
So his entire time in office, he's blacked out, drunk, and depressed. He's the saddest guy of all time. He's not listening. His kid just died. His wife blamed him for the death constantly. She was like, we should have never been on that train. You just had to be the fucking president.
Oh,
Well, you
man.
gave birth to him, bitch.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that.
You were on the train. You had fun.
Yeah, dude. Fuck.
So he's there. During Pierce, they do the Transcontinental Railroad. This is like the real. This is a fuck up for the North wants it to be from Chicago to L.A. or one of those places out west. The South wants it to be from Atlanta to L.A. In order to get it done, they have to get rid of the Missouri Line Compromise, which made it nothing north or south of here was the slave line. They decided to make it so every new territory got to decide themselves. They got to vote in order to get the Transcontinental Railroad. So this opened.
Every single thing we did to build this nation ran into this slave problem.
Yes.
Every single thing we tried to do was like, yeah, but the fucking north-south slave, fucking slave states, non-slave states.
Jesus.
We need to build a railroad across. That's the first interstate
Yes.
thing. The first interstate objective.
Yeah.
It's the first thing that you need a federal government. It's why the federal government got stronger and stronger. Because every state gets to do their own thing, but you want to take a fucking train from one to the other, these two states have to make a compromise.
Yeah.
So you needed a federal government to make these.
It was like the precursor to union, non-union. They just blow
Yeah,
up a
yeah,
gigantic like inflatable rat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the other reason, just as a general thing, that the federal government became what gave the federal government power was the states wanting parity with each other. Like when environmental laws became a thing, they were state laws. So like Indiana would make a law, you can't dump, sludge into the river anymore. So every company in Indiana has to pay extra to do a better job of dumping their shit and take it to the ocean or somewhere else, ruin somebody else's life.
Yeah.
But so next door to Indiana is Illinois, and they're like, we dump anything we want, and so all the business goes there, and so the Illinois company's like, we don't want to dump, we don't want to hurt the environment, but we can't compete with these guys, right? So they would all the states would go to the Fed and say, please pass a law that affects everybody so that we can all do the right thing that we want to do without having to get squeezed out by this guy.
Yeah.
And that worked until we started doing shit with Mexico and India and China. But anyway, go on.
But yeah,
so,
it was interesting to me. We're at I think Pierce, right? On the Transcontinental Railroad.
Yeah.
That turns out to be like that's what started it. I mean, obviously there's a ton of major factors, but that was like a big one because it opened what was called the Nebraska-Kansas Act, which is they got to decide to vote whether they were pro-slave or pro-abolition. So then a bunch of people just rushed in from the north and the south, and they started fucking killing each other.
What?
It was I forget the names. They were pretty sick. It was like the Free Staters versus the Border Ruffians. This is where John Brown and his son was out there.
Oh yeah.
They started hacking people with swords to death. Like
Jesus.
that was it. And Franklin Pierce was like, he did nothing. He didn't get involved.
Yeah, but dude, it must have been crazy when you had a bunch of slaves. Like, this is wrong. You had to be like, nah. You couldn't. It must have been crazy to be like, nah, I don't think it is.
Well, you just would pretend not to, or you just wouldn't. I mean, you'd see it on the newspaper was faded, and it was like, I don't know that much about it.
Just not being able to go down.
I'm
with
okay
that
to my slaves. I treat them okay.
Yeah, they're great.
True.
Yeah.
Right? Tell him. He's like, oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he was all right. No, it's fine. No, and meanwhile, the North was starting to get. This is getting after Pierce is who?
Buchanan.
So Buchanan is the guy who right before Lincoln.
Yes.
Right. Because the other thing that was going on is the North is industrializing, and the North is starting to build sweat houses and factories, and so part of the argument that people were having that is like the kind of argument we would have now. If it would be interesting to take this culture with Twitter and everything and supplant it to slavery days and how we would have handled that debate back then.
True.
Because there were people that were saying, the North has free workers and a ton of them immigrants that had started. and they're treated like garbage. They're living like shit, and
There's-
they're dying in large numbers and getting sick, uneducated, and being not allowed to be educated.
Yeah.
Kids are working heavy,
There's a ton
long
of
shifts
southern political cartoons that are like that.
that are about
They'll have
how bad they
slaves
were. And like our
out in
slaves
the
are like a
sun
member of
dancing.
the family.
Yeah.
We give them their own house with their plot of land. They get to do this and that. Most slave owners were better. That this is the argument,
Yeah.
and that the North was just like wholesale destroying lives.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
read what's his name, fucking Upton Sinclair. What
Yeah.
shit was going on in Chicago and the
Was it the
slaughterhouses.
meat? What's it called?
It's
It's about the meat packing shit, right?
Yeah,
The jungle. What's it called?
the jungle. Yeah.
So
Um,
another important thing about that point of the industrialization of the North, it just flooded with immigrants. So now
Yeah.
their population's so big that they get more votes, they get more electoral like all that. So now the South's like, we need to get power. So now we need more states. We need more states
Oh.
because otherwise they're going to abolish slavery and we're going to be poor.
But they're also hanging on to a way of life in the South.
Yeah.
And in the North, they're not. They're trying to do anything that's new and anything that's next and anything that's large amounts of money and large amounts of industry. And they're manufacturing in huge amounts. In the South, they're just trying to play a fiddle and whip a
Yeah.
guy and grow a little tuft of cotton for one shirt every 6 months.
Yeah, true. It's a good thing to point out.
Yeah.
It's important to know.
Yeah, but
This leads
that
us-
was the fight. It was an insanely different.
Yeah.
But we still wanted to be one country. So it was this weird a conflict that
Yeah.
never went away.
So
Yeah,
then,
like, does it continue to morph till now? It's just like some dudes
It does.
wanna chill,
We-
wear
we
Carhartt,
are-
and other dudes like, no, we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of tight.
But so what's his name?
now we're at James Buchanan, who's
Yeah.
probably the worst.
Yeah,
I think-
he was just he was frozen by two. He had so much pressure.
He was a lawyer from Pennsylvania that was just about the law,
Yeah.
which was the last thing he needed to be as the president, which was like, well, that's the rule.
But he had all of Lincoln's problems with none of his charisma
Yeah.
and guts
Yeah.
and blood.
That was
Crazy.
James Buchanan had the Dred
willingness
Scott.
to kill.
Dred Scott was
Yeah.
under James Buchanan, which
Yeah.
was where, if you don't know about that, that was about a slave living in free territory, and he was suing to get his freedom. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court, where they ruled he was an object, so he was not a citizen. Therefore, that ruling made sure every black person in America was an object
Yeah,
and
it's
not a
tough.
citizen. And Buchanan responded by saying, "That's the law. That settles it." Instead of standing up, he
Right.
just had to follow the law.
yeah,
So he was just like an extension of the court.
Yeah,
That wasn't his job.
yeah.
man,
And that brought us to Lincoln. And as soon as Lincoln gets elected, the South secedes.
Yeah, every state starts to say we're not America anymore. Like
Yeah.
immediately before he takes
Yeah.
Yeah.
office.
It's also crazy checking in on the headlines, and you're like, nah, they said you're a chair, basically. And you're like, fuck,
yeah, dude.
Yes.
fuck.
You got Lincoln, though. You know Lincoln.
Well, we could maybe skip him because it'll be the whole fucking.
Yeah. We could
I
stop.
mean, look,
we could stop
Lincoln-
with Lincoln. Let's stop
True.
with Lincoln. And then you go on to some guys you're interested in after Lincoln.
All right.
Yeah, we're good. We
What
can go
time-
as long
how
as we
we've
want.
Been talking for?
An hour.
Okay. Well,
You're not
Lincoln-
enjoying this? You're not having the time of your life?
I'm having a great time.
I knew you would. This is
I'm
nice,
not
right?
having a great time.
You're not having a great time.
No, I'm not. I hate this.
Decent time.
Really?
No, I'm having a good time.
How much fun?
You decide which one. The thing I liked about, I gave you that book about Lincoln. That's a great, what's his name? Carl Sandburg. It's a weird kind of stream of consciousness telling of Lincoln's story in 4 volumes. It's crazy. Just the warriors, just from when he took office. And when he was coming here, there was everything, hell was breaking loose, and there was supposed to be a January 6th. There was
Yeah.
supposed to be one.
What?
There was a plan to stop the certifying of the vote.
Mhm.
And so they went to General, what was his name? He was the only American general then, because we didn't fight wars anymore.
Yeah.
So the army was kind of like not,
I think he was the commander.
he's
when it-
it's a name you just know when
when
you
it
hear
started.
it. Like Scott something.
Oh, yeah, Winfield Scott.
Winfield Scott.
Yes.
Perfect.
So they went to Winfield Scott, the guys running the government, and then they said, "We think there's going to be this thing where they're going to try to stop the." So he said, if anyone, made a declaration. Publicly, he said, if anyone tries to stop the counting of the votes and the democratic process from happening, either by force or by infiltration, I will stuff them into my cannon and fertilize my lawn with them. That's what he said.
Lincoln said that?
That's what he said.
What?
No,
And,
Winfield Scott.
Winfield Scott said
Yeah,
that.
and what he did in real fact, because he was a really smart guy, he gave all of the Capitol police and all those guys that they had the day off. They said go home, and he went and got policemen from Baltimore, from New York City, all kinds of like badass cops, and he had them in plain clothes all over the Capitol, all heavily armed, but in plain clothes. So, and people know, so if somebody started something, the guy would just go like this or elbow him or whatever.
Yeah.
But the appearance was that it was peaceful and that there was no military presence.
Whoa.
But nothing happened. That's what it took to get Lincoln. Everybody, up to the minute that happened, everyone was like, I don't know if he's ever going to take office. People believed he would never be president.
Dude, he wasn't even on the ballot in the southern states. Not even on the ballot.
Yeah.
What?
He didn't win one southern state.
A lot of people, big people who would be like whoever now, wrote long things saying, don't take office. Your presidency, your victory is hollow. It's not real. Not even just people from the South, but people from the North. Everyone was afraid that Lincoln was going to just immediately free the slaves and start war with the South. And his first inauguration, he says, first thing out of his mouth is, I have no intention of freeing the Southern slaves or changing their slave laws. And yes, we will chase down and bring you back your slaves when they come up here within reason. He puts like a tiny thing of like, we're not going to like make it our obsession, but we will do it. Like it's the first thing out of his mouth.
That's what bothers me about people, like people that are critics of him hang on to that. And they're like, Lincoln didn't want to do it. It's like, dude, the whole time that's what he wanted.
Of course he did. That's what, again, it goes all the way back to the framers. They all wanted this to be a better country than it was. So they knew they couldn't create a nation without slavery. So they said, let's create a nation where people can change peacefully. They can change not only leadership, but the laws. That create a situation where people figure it out for themselves and move forward and change, instead of like a constitution could have been a very permanent thing. It could have been a very solid, permanent thing, but they actually made it elastic on purpose. And that's, Lincoln was like, we'll do it, guys.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We need some fucking time. And boy, what it cost is crazy. And a lot of people who didn't want slavery were really angry at Lincoln for how hard he pushed that war, and that he didn't just settle it. Just let the South do whatever they want. We have our free blacks here. Let them take their chances down there. You're killing millions, or however many fucking, I don't know how many people it was. Like 250,000 people died in the Civil War.
Yeah, probably around there.
Something like about how many we killed in Iraq in a day.
Yeah,
pretty much.
True.
For doing nothing.
Less than Middle Eastern civilians.
Yeah. Measure it in like Persian weddings.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it was. Yeah, Lincoln's the best.
He was really something. I mean, it just took a lot of political guts, a lot of fuck.
Yeah.
This is gonna suck.
Just trying to talk to these fucking cunts from the South.
That must be nuts.
That it's just like, clearly this is for money. It's wrong.
Yep.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's 1865.
Well, it was the ultimate
1860.
time.
They know it's wrong.
One, folks not wanting to say that shit's wrong.
Yeah.
And him like not making them say it, but getting them to just one guy at a time. He would just go around, get support here, get support there, put muscle in where he had it, and he fought a brutal war, fucking incessant war.
And he had to wait until he got a victory to fucking announce the Emancipation Proclamation. He was trying so hard to get it out, but his generals kept fucking up and losing. And he would just be writing to these dudes like, go.
Yeah, please.
Do it.
Get one.
Like, I think he wrote it after Antietam, which was like a draw. He was like, that's pretty
good.
good.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, that's close enough. Here we go.
We're doing it. Shot.
Yeah, and then he got his fucking head blown off.
By next to his wife.
Yeah.
And they put a little napkin, but that was what they did for him. They put a little napkin back there and hoped, but it was not a good. It was not a very.
He was alive for a while after.
Yeah, that's what
he
I'm saying.
He didn't just die right away.
He didn't have to die at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't die right away.
Death.
Really?
Yeah.
Bled to death.
He was like alive in the
He's like,
hotel for like
and
a
they're
day.
like, we don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What play was he saying? Does anyone know?
Fuck, I do know.
What play?
What was the play? It was at the Ford's Theater.
I don't remember the.
I'm curious to see what he was watching.
Yeah, it was something good.
Yeah.
He was fixated.
He was into it.
He didn't notice the
That's
assassin.
the weird thing. It was Hamilton.
Yeah, it was Hamilton.
Yeah.
He was sitting there like, what was it? Nice. He was sitting there watching it like, I got to pretend to like this.
Yeah.
It was fucking Hamilton.
And then they shot him. And he was like, "Thank God."
This place sucks.
Christ, this shit sucks so bad. So that brings us to Johnson.
So
Who, this
Johnson
is
was
great.
the first guy to be impeached.
Was he
What?
impeached? Oh yeah, I didn't-
First guy to be impeached. Yeah.
Johnson shows up. This is great. He was like a tough guy. He was supposed to be the counteraction to
Yeah.
Lincoln.
Well, he's one of the reasons the war was prolonged because everybody knew if we could just